All right, let's get back to it, guys. A lot of fun stuff tonight. We've been all over the place, but it's fun. And if you want to join the show and talk, come on, call 801-254-5855. That's 801-254-KTKK. Or if you're out of the area, 1-888-919-2355. That's 1-888-919-2355. If you want to talk about games or movies or anything that Game and Movie Empire discusses.
Oh, yeah.
But we were talking a lot about movies. And, of course, when the cosplayers were here, we got into some discussions about movies. So what's the next piece? What are we going to talk about next?
Arthur.
Video games.
Games.
Well, sorry, that was
specifically.
Loud. Specifically, we were going to talk about, for starters, Shadow of Mordor.
Wait.
Oh, wow.
Your favorite subject.
I'm getting
Come on,
way
dude.
ahead of myself.
Totes, dude.
I was wondering why you wanted me to talk about it. VR, virtual reality.
Yes.
So
You
we're
need to talk about it.
Wait. Can I interject?
Please.
Sure, yeah.
Ex Machina. Have you seen the video for that? The trailer, the robot that is becoming somewhat human-like.
Yeah. Remember it was...
yeah. And the house.
Yes.
It looked like it was going to be like a romance movie at first, and you're like, that could be good.
The second trailer is pretty scary.
And Then when you watch that, you're like, whoa, this is going to be crazy.
Yeah. No, that looks insane, actually.
We'll have to do a little dig and find out when that opens. That looks like an interesting movie.
I agree.
Okay, back to the games.
Yeah.
I don't know, virtual reality and
Virtual
that
reality.
kind of,
Whatever.
Go for it,
right?
dude.
Virtual reality. So a little thing called GDC just occurred earlier this month. And where to begin? So there was a lot of virtual reality previews and demos shown off. And there are a lot of different companies making virtual reality headsets.
Mm-hmm.
We have Oculus Rift, who kind of started this. That was kind of funny.
That was funny.
And then, Razer's doing one, and, of course, Samsung's doing one with Oculus Rift. And I can't even think of a couple of the other ones' names. And now Valve is doing one with HTC. And it's just kind of crazy just how many... I think I counted, 7 or 9 headsets. Just a lot of different VR headsets. And, it's not all video games. Some of it is, films that are filmed 360 degrees,
which we saw a lot of at Sundance when we went there.
Yeah. So there's that, and there's also opportunity to see a concert, kind of you're in the concert. You put on the headset and that kind of thing. So it's a mixture between live events, kind of these movie experiences, and video games.
Mm-hmm.
And so obviously, we're talking about video games right now. We do love movies.
Sure. And I wouldn't be opposed to a virtual reality movie eventually. But,
No.
But the thing is, you can't really move yourself. So,
it would be a challenge to film for sure. And it can be done, and it has been done, but we'll see. I don't know. I can't talk too much about that apart from Google Cardboard, which is fun and awesome.
I've tried, I tried the Oculus Rift, Google Cardboard, and then I tried the new Panasonic one. Those are the ones I've tried.
Panasonic's doing one now? See? That's what I'm saying.
Well, no, that's what they had at Comic-Con. That's what they had at Sundance. Remember? Wasn't it? You were the one who pointed it out to me.
I wasn't there.
You were there. We saw it on the side of the road, and you were like, look, he has one in his hand.
No, that's Samsung.
Samsung. Okay, so Samsung was the one I tried. I apologize.
It's okay. So there's a lot of this going on, and we were talking a little about this earlier, and this is kind of what I'm feeling.
Before you start, I need to say one thing.
Go for it.
I love Nolan. I love you so much. Continue. Wow. He's just listening to the show.
Well, thank you, Nolan, for listening to the show. Yes. I also love you. Not as much as Watson. But no one loves you as much as Watson.
Nope. Anyways, continue.
I'm getting distracted.
By love?
Yes, by love. I think the big players, though, are, or at least the ones that stand out to me, are Oculus Rift, because Oculus Rift was purchased by Facebook. Also, they've got John Carmack working with them, who's a genius. I'm not going to downplay that.
Okay.
And then, obviously, they've got a lot of money and a lot of good they've got a lot of good people working with them, and good technology, and they're the ones that started it. So I think they're in a good position. Also, then you got Sony. They've got their own console, and they make games, they make hardware, they make TVs. I mean, I think they're in a very good position too. They also have controllers, that they have motion controllers as well. So they're kind of in a good spot. And then you've got Valve, who, they're Valve.
Which they announced, what was it called?
It's called the HTC Vive.
Which is interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting.
I think it's like Hive mixed with Valve, because it does kind of look like a hive.
I don't know. I mean, I'm not sure, because it said like Revive.
I'm not sure
what's up with.
I want to play it.
Watson wants to play that,
as well as their controller.
Yeah. So the interesting thing about so you've got like virtual reality. Mm-hmm. It's one thing to be able to move your head around and look up and down and see your feet and stuff, but the problem is like there's a disconnect because you're not walking.
Although, did you see that Kickstarter video that's been circling around?
I'm not sure which one you're referring to.
So there's a video where, and this isn't a new concept, but they're doing a Kickstarter for like a home version that's affordable. And basically, what you do is it's a kind of like a slip pad, basically, but it kind of keeps you in gear. But you can move around and walk and run, if you can hear my feet. And you can run
like the Flintstones.
Yeah, but like they show demos of like a girl was playing a horror movie or a horror game, and she flips out because she's walking. So I mean that could definitely work, but you just got to be careful with those kind of things.
The thing that's hard for me is like video games. Traditionally, you sit down and your view moves, but you don't move.
Yeah.
So now like you have these headsets, and you can change your field of view. But like,
I think your body's going to naturally want to do things like shooting and pointing your hand out.
I thought one that worked well though was like that Valkyrie, the Eve Valkyrie demo.
You do bring that up quite a bit. Not here, sorry, with us. So,
but you're a pilot in a spaceship, and so it makes sense because you don't move in a spaceship; you just sit down, and so it feels natural in that way. And so like, but let's say you turn it into like a first-person type game, and that's kind of what Valve is doing because they've got it now. So they have sensors that you place in your room, and you can literally get up and walk around this 3D environment. But I can just imagine people like tripping on stuff or stepping on children, or I just don't even know. Like
little children, look out!
They literally have to have a game room. It sounds like.
Well, and they've said that like you can kind of scale it to different sizes, but at the same time, it's just I don't know. It sounds like a challenging experience, to say the least.
For Rizal.
What does impress me, though, is their controllers. Very precise, accurate motion.
All right, everybody. Welcome back to the Fringe Radio Presents Game and Movie Empire. I am Waddy McFly with my host,
Arthur.
And with our master...
Jedi Master.
Exactly. Pat, he is here with us.
No, it's always fun to be here. Always fun to be here with you guys. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, we want to just definitely stress, go check out his show. We're here once a month, but he still has a show every single Saturday night. Does some awesome, great show, so definitely check him out. He had Ben Hansen, that's his name, right?
Yeah, Ben Hansen.
I'm so sad that I missed. Well, I listened to the show, but I am a huge fan of his, as I emailed you and told you about. So one day maybe I can meet him.
Well,
someday.
he'll be at PrepperCon.
Ooh,
that's where
I really want to meet him.
That's where we're all going to be, and we'll do the show there if all goes well. And yeah, you'll meet him. Nice night, guys. Nice.
Cool.
Night.
That'll be fun. All right. Well, we kind of anything last words you want to say about the VR thing, or should we just kind of move on?
Well, I want to spend a few more minutes on it.
All right.
Just like
how you did this thing, like you're bashful.
I was actually itching my neck.
No, you're being bashful.
All right, I'm a little bashful. Fine. But for me, the thing that gets me is like you've got great technology, and then you've got all these people working on it, but like they don't have the support. Like, I mean, Facebook, they've got lots of money, so Oculus Rift is in a good position. Sony, they make games and hardware. They're in a great position. Valve, they sell games, obviously, and now they're doing hardware with HTC. So it's like they're in a good position. But then you've got like these other 10 like competitors, and like, what are they doing? Like, I don't know. I mean, I guess there's always room for like third-party equipment and whatnot, and cheaper is obviously appealing.
I'm sure as VR gets popular, we're just going to keep seeing more and more good, and then at the same time as equally terrible VR.
Yeah, that's what I'd be slightly concerned about. But for me, it's the control scheme, because like, do you want to really stand up and walk around like with what Valve is showing off? And they're not the only ones who have made controllers. Sixth Sense has made these awesome controllers, and there's this really cool lightsaber demo thing where they're blocking lasers with lightsabers, and that looks way awesome. But I don't know. I mean, do we want to? Are games a good fit for this? Like, do we want to be walking around?
To me, that's the only reason why we should have it.
Fair enough.
But that's the thing. I think if I'm going to move my head and look around and be in this world, my body is going to naturally want to reach my hands out and actually going to want to move, If a monster comes and scares me, my reaction isn't to, like, push the trigger to shoot a gun. My reaction is to pull my hand out and be like, which would be awesome if we can actually have that happen, which there is that other device that could read your hands and stuff like that.
Yeah, and it's true. There's a lot of great technology, but
You
like,
just need to put it to one.
Exactly. Like, it's not together yet. Or at least there's no cohesive kind of set thing. I do think Valve's controllers, in my opinion, offer the most freedom and like the best overall control scheme. Just because they've got they're two touchpads that are like analog sticks, and they're very precise. Which not every controller is as precise.
Yeah.
So,
all right, cool. Anything else with that? Can we move on?
That's about it. I mean, I think it's exciting. I really do.
I do too. I just hope that it isn't just a phase. I hope it stays, because
they're putting so much money into this. I don't think it's a phase. I think they're gonna shove it down people's throats until they start buying.
Good. Well, thank you, Oculus Rift, for getting that spark to happen. So,
I agree. Thank you.
So yeah, we both played this game that we really enjoyed. We just want to talk about it briefly. We both played and beat. I beat it quite a while ago, but then Arthur has recently beat it.
It went on sale.
It went on sale, and I know a lot of you out there have also bought it. It was on Steam, I believe, where the sale was, right?
Yeah.
Shadows of Mordor, Lord of the Rings, Shadows of Mordor. We just want to kind of talk about it, just our impressions of it, since we've both played it now, and we can kind of give us our feedback. So I think it's fresh off your mind, Arthur. So why don't you start?
Well, first of all, like, for me, lately I play a lot of short games. And I do love Lord of the Rings a lot, so this game was able to keep my attention for longer. But it is just so fun to just play from minute to minute.
And beautiful.
Oh, yeah. Also gorgeous. And so, like, that's part of what I loved about it, just the fact that it's fun. The other thing is visually, yeah, like you said, beautiful. But, like, there's just these little details, like, you collect these things, and if anyone's really into, like, Lord of the Rings lore, like, they talk about the blue wizards, for example, and they kind of add these characters, and they just talk a lot about these little subtle things, and I think it really kind of adds depth to the world, and I really loved that about it.
What was amazing is like, I don't know how big of a screen you got to play it on, but I got to play a little bit of it recently on a 65-inch TV, and what's crazy is just how detailed this game is. Like, the raindrops and, like, running through the mud puddles and stuff like that. It's awesome, and so I think it's a game that's worth checking out. If you haven't checked it out yet. Another thing I really like about it, the gameplay is awesome. The gameplay is so great, and a lot of people are like, oh, it's so much like Assassin's Creed, or, oh, it's so much like Batman. I get that it has some similarities, but I think in the end, it has enough on its own that it's its own game. Like, you have enough powers on your own deal that it justifies it as its own game. What's your favorite power, Arthur?
Oh, for me, it was like, so you have this bow and you can aim it at like
You're probably getting to what I am.
they've got these like rancor monster things, and you shoot your bow at it, and then you teleport on top of it and take over the rancor.
Oh, it's so
and
cool.
yeah, it was the best. Teleporting, yeah.
Yeah, Taisley, thanks you for joining us tonight. Yeah, my favorite it is that bow and arrow as well, but I like the part where you can like aim it at orcs, shoot it, it teleports you over to the orcs, you kill them, and then you can like do a chain attack to other orcs.
Oh yeah,
that was so fun. I really liked that. So, the ending is really interesting. It implies a sequel.
It does, yeah.
We can't give too much away, but I mean, it definitely felt. I don't know. I won't lie. I hate cutscenes, or I hate the button prompts, and I recently talked about this on Utah Gamers, but I hate when you lead up to fighting a really awesome boss, and it's left to just button prompts. Like, don't get me wrong, the boss that you fight, it is kind of a cool, different-ish, unique way that you fight him stealth-wise, but like. I was recently playing a game called Dying Light, and, I'm not going to spoil the ending, but, you get all these awesome power-ups, and you become, this better, awesome parkour zombie-killing master, and then you get the guy that you've been chasing after for the whole game. You confront him, and the final battle is left to button prompts. And I hate that. I get they want it to be cinematic, but I think it's more intense when he's coming at me with a knife, and I'm like, oh, and I gotta move it around, and that wasn't girly at all.
Yeah, I feel you. No, I can agree with that. I mean, and those end bosses were. I did like the last.
Be careful,
boss. I'm not gonna say.
Careful.
I'm not gonna say who it is.
Yes.
The one thing that. I do in some ways, man. There's really not much you could say without ruining it. It's interesting.
Go play the game if you have already played it. Contact us. Let's talk about it.
Oh yeah, I agree. If you love the movies, if you love the books, well, I don't know. I feel like they're respectful to it, but in some ways, sometimes the more you talk about like backstory, for example. Sometimes, it takes away some of the mystery of things,
Sure.
Or it makes certain, figures less threatening, or how sometimes they make prequels to movies or games or whatever, and you're like, oh, well, this guy lives, so you don't have to worry about.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel as threatening.
Although at the same time, at the same time, I get really like, oh my gosh, is he going to die? I know this is a prequel, but it still has a thrill for me.
Oh, yeah. No, it's still fun.
But still, that thought does pop into my mind. Like,
What do you guys think about movies that have dual endings? And there's a couple of them out there. Like
you mean like alternate endings?
Yeah, like Rocky Balboa's got two different endings. You can play it the theatrical way, or you can play where he wins. And I haven't heard of many, but my understanding is I did a little research on that one time, and there's quite a few of them out there that have alternate endings.
It's true.
Yeah. With me, I mean, I feel like it should. There's some reasons that I'm like, yeah, you probably should have gone with that, or the reason why you went with the original ending, I totally makes sense. There's some that I like. Wow, I actually like this ending better. For example, there was a. Well, I don't. This is an example where I agreed they should have. That they went with the original ending. It is I Am Legend. Did you hear about that?
No, I've seen it.
Oh, you've seen the endings?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the one ending. Well, we could be spoiling that too.
But I Am Legend has been out for a while.
Well, spoiler alert, in case you haven't seen this, turn down your volume for a second if you haven't seen I Am Legend. In the end, he finds the cure to cure the zombies. In doing the process, he takes one of the zombies, zombies or whatever they are.
Yeah, whatever you want to call them.
And then it turns out that one of the ones that he took is a female, and these zombie-ish creatures or whatever, turns out that they're actually the only reason why they're coming after him is to retrieve their female. So in the original ending, you see him, if I remember correctly, you see him giving the female back, and then he sacrifices himself, while the other two get away. While the other alternate ending is gives the person back and basically safely leaves somehow, and then ends up. Will Smith actually survives in the thing, but I like the original ending just because it's I Am Legend. I just feel like that makes him a legend.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's like I understand that it's writing isn't easy, and making
especially
movies.
the ending.
And so like I can understand that sometimes you don't know exactly how to end things, and like I'm okay with people experimenting with it. As long as it's not like the studio saying you have to change this. Yeah. Like that's what I don't like.
We saw that with Clerks. They had, you remember, or Mallrats. I mean, we saw. Remember the beginning that they had this whole big beginning.
But it wasn't really the studio's. I don't think the studio.
The studio wanted a big beginning, and that's what they started with, and then they're like,
gotcha.
well, let's do this way.
Yeah, they changed it, and man, it just fell flat. So
yep.
Usually
when they changed it. So.
Usually when they change things, it is for good reasons. Not always, but
yeah,
I don't know.
And I bring out. Did that help that answer your question, Pat? Mm-hmm. Okay.
But what else we got?
That kind of leads into what we're talking about.
Yeah, it is. Me, you.
I'm yawning, so if you want to go.
Well, Watson's yawning. So we were talking a little about...
It's pizza time, guys.
Yeah, we need pizza. We really do. Difficult.
We really don't, but we're going to.
All right. It's not a need, it's a want.
Well, the pie is right down the street. You just can't.
And if anyone wants to come to the pie...
Whoa! Creepy. No,
you live in Utah. You know where the pie is. In South Jordan. Anyway...
Giving out our location.
Whatever. They don't know where we are. They know where the pie is, though.
And they're welcome to come.
Anyway.
Anyways, yes.
We'll see what happens. We were talking about difficulty in games and how that can make you enjoy or hate a game, depending on how easy or hard it is. I don't know. For me, like, personally, like, I like a challenge, but I don't want to spend forever on a game because I just don't have that much time to dedicate to games. So it's like, I don't usually want to play super hard games. I mean, unless it's a game I've played multiple times and I know everything about it, that sort of thing. But, Watson, what about you?
Well, we kind of had this interesting talk about it, and the reason why we brought it up. I feel like the difficulty in games will depend on how you enjoy it or not. Some people, recently Bloodborne just came out, and I can't wait to get my hands on it. People really like hard games. There's some people that totally go that way. And, to be fair, a lot of people insist that games have gotten easier with what we've had before.
With checkpoints,
right?
And multiple lives, and not having to start the entire game over when you die.
Yeah, exactly. So I think it comes to personal preference, but what I like personally, maybe it's just because I like the games be really cinematic and stuff like that. Like, for example, Grand Theft Auto, you do not pick the level of difficulty. You just start in, you play Grand Theft Auto. It's the same difficulty for everybody. You go off and you play this game. I like that. I think more games should do that. I think Last of Us you actually do pick, which is interesting. And I know that, and I really want to try this, Dying Light just came out with a hardcore mode, which it's you're dead in an instant almost, and you lose all your stuff, which is interesting. But it's just what you personally prefer. So I think that difficulty in a game is a huge factor in if you can enjoy the game or not.
Sure. Well, a good example of a game that I really loved that is hard. I mean, and I think I played this on the normal setting, is XCOM. And I know there are a ton of XCOM fans out there. But this game you're fighting against the aliens. It's tough strategy. I was playing in the mode where if your guys die, they're dead for good. And, like, I was doing so good, and then suddenly the aliens threw something at me I wasn't prepared for. Everyone died, and then I couldn't recover. It's called XCOM.
Right.
Oh, it is so... But, like, I really loved that part of it. Like, just the fact that, like... Because you know how it is. When you die and then just restart, you're like, whatever. I mean, you'll take risks and whatnot. But, like, when you know your character dies for good, you're like, I don't want to risk him. You play it safe and stuff, and like it changes the entire experience. So I think that's really cool.
All right, everybody, welcome back to Fringe Radio Presents Game. Alex and Arthur are here in our final segment of the night. Well, a fun night tonight. It went quick.
It did.
Always.
That's usually a good thing.
It does go quick.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. Really, thank you so much for those cosplayers that came out to, be in the show and to, sorry, my phone's going off, to be in the show and to support us and really go out and support them. They are just they are seriously my favorite cosplayers. So thank you so much to them. We are at the last half of our show, but we still have some great stuff to talk about.
Yeah, video games, our favorite thing.
Video games and stuff like that. So we just finished talking about, do you have anything else to add with difficulty? Oh, I did want to add one thing with difficulty video games.
Wait, let's slow down. Difficulty in video games.
Difficult video games.
Better.
Thank you. One example. So Zelda series is my favorite game of all time. But what frustrates me about Zelda is there's some puzzles that they give you nothing. Like, it's not like a flash, like, hey, look over here, there's something going on over here, or, hey, listen, or anything like that. Sometimes they would.
Sure.
But, like,
we've all gotten stuck on the water temple.
Well, oh, yeah, and the water temples, definitely. I mean, if you could figure out the water temple, which I had to of... Because I beat it as a kid, but...
Isn't that amazing how you can beat these games as a kid sometimes, and you come back and you're like, I have no idea.
Yeah, no, totally. But, like, there's this one part in Skyward Sword where you walk into this room, and there's nothing. There's no doors, there's no anything, and you're just like, okay, what's the point of this room? And, like, you walk around, you don't see any switches... So I had to look up the strategy. And when I looked it up, found out that there's a fake part of the wall. And it's not like the entire wall. It's this tiny certain portion of the wall. But there was no evidence of I don't know. But in some cases, that's what a lot of people think is the charm about, Zelda games. So
yeah,
I love it. So I can't complain too much.
Yeah, it's hard to say because some people thrive off these incredibly intricate, complicated puzzles or really tough bosses or hard strategy, but personally, not for me. I want to be able to beat the game without too much frustration. So I like easy mode, I'm not going to lie. Yeah. Or at least normal.
I try and do normal just because, don't get me wrong, I get pretty frustrated when I die, but yeah.
I don't got all day. Ain't nobody got time for that. I don't know. But, I mean, I, for one, am glad that games have an easy mode and a hard mode. Well, some games. But, just because the people that like the challenge, hey, man, go for it.
Go for it, for sure.
But that's not usually me.
Definitely. Good with that? Let's just
yeah.
So I've been noticing a lot of this talk on my Facebook and Twitter and things like that, and this just seems to be an ongoing battle. Console wars. People pinning Xbox is better than PlayStation. PlayStation is better than Xbox.
Both are better than the Wii.
Wii U, yeah, everything's better than the Wii U. That's what people are saying.
And then PC's better than everything,
PC's better than everything, Arthur. So we want to talk about that. Console wars in general, our thoughts
or
about
fanboyism,
Fanboyism. I don't understand it personally. I'm a gamer. I go where the games are. My thought is I could have this system that's like, this is the best, and it comes with virtual reality, and it's like the coolest thing ever, and you're going to love it. If it doesn't have any good games on it, then it's worthless to me.
Agreed.
I go where the games go. So I have a PS4. I just bought a Wii U. I had an Xbox 360 not too long ago. I'm going to get an Xbox One eventually. And I built a PC last year with the huge help from Arthur. And that's a huge thing. PC is awesome just because you get tons of games right on your fingertips. And
they're way dirt cheap.
Usually they're
if you get them on sale.
Yeah, usually they're very dirt cheap. Or at least eventually they become very dirt cheap. So, my argument is when people start these console battles, compare specs, compare whatever you want, but if the consoles aren't having good games, then I don't want them. And even at the same token, like Xbox One has awesome games on it. That's just for Xbox One. PlayStation 4 has awesome games are just for PlayStation 4. So I need both. Like that's I know that's not definitely the cheaper option, but if I can just buy it on PC, because a lot of exclusives eventually go to PC, which is kind of fun. I don't know. That's my thought process when it comes to console wars. But Arthur, what do you think?
Well, I own a PS3, a Wii, and a PC. So I haven't moved to next-gen consoles because my PC is powerful enough to play most of those games.
Right.
But eventually I'd like to get a PS4. For me, there's so much overlap between Xbox and PC that it's usually unnecessary to buy an Xbox. There are a couple exclusives like Gears of War. One day I may buy a 360 for that or something. But yeah, dude, just have fun with it. Really, it's just so petty sometimes.
Go ahead.
We got a couple questions.
We do.
Do it.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah. We're going to go back to movies a little bit, though.
Yeah, that's fine
okay.
with us.
All right, our good friend Durhuff from the East Coast writes in, says, guys, what's your view of having Harrison Ford reprise his role character in a new Blade Runner? Like what? That's like a lot of rain and ramen noodles getting sucked out of a bowl.
Arthur?
I don't know too much about the Blade Runner movie. I believe it's just being produced by Ridley Scott. I love Harrison Ford as an actor.
Me too.
The last thing I think I saw him in was Ender's Game, which he was great in.
Haven't seen.
Bring on Harrison Ford until he
Have you seen
act.
Blade Runner?
Yeah, I love
Blade
yeah,
Runner.
Yeah.
Great movie.
But yeah, dude, put him in Blade Runner. I don't know what I think about the idea of the sequel.
If they make it awesome, great.
Yeah. I guess I agree.
That's what it comes down to. I really liked the sequel / it's still kind of its own movie of Total Recall. I think it was completely close to its own movie. What?
Are you talking about the new Total Recall with Colin Farrell?
Yes.
I didn't see it. Was it good?
I liked it.
Yeah.
I thought it was good. And then you showed me the original, and I feel like it was just enough different. They don't leave.
Wasn't Sharon Stone hot in the original?
Oh man,
Oh,
Sharon Stone is just a babe. Period. No.
I just love old 80s sci-fi
Yeah,
with
sure.
practical effects and
Yeah.
I sure do. Sorry, that was just an example of that. But yeah, I think it'll be. He just can't do much action. We watched the new Indiana Jones, which
he needed
great.
a walker.
Yeah, it was great and it was fun, but it's just very unbelievable that he could still do the things that he could do. So I would still. There's nothing wrong with making him a mentor character. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, I agree.
Even
Unless
in
you
Indiana
say,
Jones,
we can say he's a replicant, right? Is that a spoiler? It's not confirmed.
yes,
it came out 30 years ago.
I'm telling.
Okay.
So,
Well,
good question.
I don't know.
Next question. Did you have another?
Oh, that was. Oh, it's the next one says. Also ask about the next Hellboy movie and a release date for the new Fallout.
A new Hellboy. I
So-
haven't heard about that.
As far as I know, and please, if there's a Hellboy movie, send info this way. But I don't think it's going to happen from the interviews. I know that Ron Perlman and Del Toro want it to happen, but honestly, they'd probably have to Kickstarter it or something because I just don't think it has a lot of support. In
Those
the
are great
studios.
movies, though.
I love him.
yeah.
I love Del Toro. He's one of my favorite directors. And it needs a sequel, but I I don't know if studios are going to be willing to. I don't know. It's hard to say because Del Toro is doing really good, and like with this Pacific Rim 2.
Yeah, that's and that's kind of, I know we're going back into the movie thing, but the thing I've read about, like from Screen Rant, some people are saying that it's going to be the kaiju and big robots. Then there's other things that say it may not go that way. It may go differently, more of a backstory. I don't know.
I know it is a sequel and it takes place several years at least. But yeah, I've heard that they're kind of changing something. But yeah, they haven't said too much about it. But just give me giant monsters and giant robots and Charlie Day.
That's all we care about.
Yeah, Pacific Rim was an awesome movie.
Thing.
It just was. I don't know if they needed all that mind melding crap. That seemed to be a little bit too complex for me, and I'd rather.
It's interesting,
but it threw a little twist into it.
But
threw the human element into it.
Yeah.
I need to rewatch those again.
Pacific Rim?
Well, Pacific Rim, yes, but Hellboy as well.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen them and I love them. So.
But he also mentioned Fallout though.
Yeah.
Oh, Fallout. Well, Bethesda has not purchased, but has scheduled their own press conference for E3, which is what we're hoping to go to. And could they be talking about a new Fallout? Possibly.
I think it's likely. Anything. Is it going to happen? Maybe.
We really don't
give it like
know.
a 50% chance.
I mean, you would think that they're one of their number one popular games. It's not going to be a new Elder Scrolls. I don't think so, because with online...
It might be a new Dishonored, though.
It could be a new... Well, but I don't think... Dishonored was popular, don't get me wrong, but I don't think it's as popular as Fallout.
No. But Fallout takes a long time to make. Dishonored, probably not.
But Fallout 3 came out, quite a while ago.
That's true. But Skyrim... Well, I don't know.
I don't think it would be a new Skyrim, personally.
No, not a new Skyrim.
But let's just say if they reserved their own spot to come out and release new games, and it was only Dishonored that was new, I would be kind of disappointed.
Yeah, I agree.
Not that I don't.
That's not like an entire press conference worth.
I mean, I love Dishonored, and I would love a sequel. But
there is going to be the new Doom game, which I am way stoked for. So I think that's going to be there.
That's true. That could be.
So between Doom, maybe Dishonored, and Fallout, that could make a cool press conference. But I don't know. It's hard to say.
Interesting. Yeah. And is that it for questions for right now?
That's it for questions.
Well, thank you for the question, though. I like that. E3 is definitely coming up. Very exciting.
I'm very excited about that.
So we're kind of running on time. What were we talking about?
Sad.
Console Wars? Is there much
we
else
were
to
Console
say?
Wars. Just stop, guys.
Stop it.
It's fine. You guys are, it's fun to argue and it's fun to, make things happen. But I see people get so into it and they're like, we're going to, you are dumb because you don't like what I like. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's like there's valid reasons for supporting one versus another.
Yeah, it's like getting mad at someone for liking Mexican food. And it's just
no, I like Asian food.
Yeah, why would you like Asian food, dude? Yeah. The specs are so much better.
So much healthier. No, I don't know.
I don't know. That's just my.
Yeah, that's a great metaphor though. Because dude, just do what you like and don't have to it, and don't call people names or stuff because they are different than you. That's absurd. There's valid reasons for both, and in all honesty, you can enjoy either. And there aren't that many exclusives.
Right.
Not enough to justify saying one is better.
Yeah, there's just no reason to have that kind of argument. So,
yeah.
Yep. Well, just to kind of wrap things up, the games we're playing right now. I just got a Wii U, so I've been playing a lot of Wind Waker and Hyrule Warriors. I've also found a copy of Tony Hawk Underground, getting a little nostalgia to play on a Wii. That's currently what I'm playing right now, getting into. And Arthur, what are you getting into?
Well, recently I played through Stanley Parable, and
you did recently?
Yeah, I did.
That's a great game.
Oh, so great! And I just found a couple new endings I didn't know about.
Awesome.
And I know there's more that I'm missing, but I really I really went through that. And if you haven't played it, I don't want to spoil it, of course.
Of course.
That would be wrong. But just
play it.
Just play it and have fun with it.
And if someone's like, "Oh, you're playing Stanley Parable? Oh, this game's so gay because..." No. Just stop them right there and say, yes.
Just buy it and play it.
It's best to just play it with not knowing anything.
And also I've been playing Dark Forces.
Old school dude.
The old school
dude.
Star Wars shooter. And
bought that on the Humble Bundle?
No. I had that.
You ordered already. Come on, who are you? You're Arthur.
Yeah. So that Star Wars Humble Bundle was awesome.
Totally. Well, just a couple little announcements, and then Pat has a few announcements.
Yep, 2 minutes.
Cool, real quick. J.Watt is coming out with a new short on Wednesday. We are going to come out with a Justin Bieber parody video. It's going to be funny. He's getting roasted on Monday on Comedy Central. So everyone subscribe to J.Watt Productions, www.youtube.com/user/J.Watt. That's JWAT Productions. To subscribe to that. This is going to be big. We're hoping that it'll be a lot of fun. So that's it for us for right now.
Good night, everybody.
See ya.
Take care.
Good
Bye-bye.
night.